Hello everyone, welcome back to a reaction video. Honestly, I want to see if we all can conversate this in a way that we all might be living in a multiverse. And honestly, a lot of it could be a theory, just like it says here. Theory is not fiction anymore. Honestly, I really think it's still a theory. Honestly, well, actually, let me just take that back. I didn't mean to say that. I don't think it's a theory. I think it actually exists. I think it's actually real. And that there are different multiverses out there. There's probably a different me somewhere else. There's another me here, there, and there, whatever. And it comes to a part where we're all in this physical sphere, which is the Earth, and we're all living on it. Or it could be even a flat Earth, or because or maybe we're on Jupiter, or maybe, you never know. Maybe we're all on something else, on a different planet, something else. So, it's interesting. And I feel like there's a high ties to everything in the world around us that conversate our way of being. So there's a lot to say about the world, and a lot to say about Mother Nature. There's a lot to say about the stars and space and time itself. And honestly, time's just really a number. I mean, no one really can explain time, actually. It's really a hard concept to understand. But it's just something to really think about and dive deep into. So let's get into this.
If the multiverse theory is correct, ours is not the only one out there. Which is as interesting as it is scary, right? Now, not every scientist is on board with this mind-bending concept. And let's be honest, the idea of actually making contact with these parallel universes sounds about as probable as winning the lottery while riding a unicycle. But hold on tight, because this strange concept isn't just limited to the realms of fiction anymore. Believe it or not, a bunch of scientific theories actually support the existence of parallel universes. And let me tell you, it's a topic that stirs up quite the debate in scientific groups. Now picture this. The universe we live in is mind-numbingly vast. We're talking billions, some say even trillions of galaxies swirling around, each packed with an almost uncountable number of stars.
Honestly, he's correct. There's so much out there that we don't even know about. We haven't even heard or even probably even seen. And there could be even angels out there, or demons that are out there. Just not like on Earth beings that there's angels all around us or demons all around us. If you're religious or spiritual. I mean, honestly, I'm talking about just higher beings out there that are really far, far away, and it's too dark to see, and we don't even know if there's any more planets out there, but the galaxy is just so far away. It's just like the ocean. We don't know how many fish are under really deep underwater. It goes miles and miles away, and acres of space and water itself, and it just goes on, and it's interesting to comprehend that, because it really goes deeper into the aspect of life, to our universal selves.
Some brainiacs studying the universe's shape suggest that its diameter could span a staggering 7 billion light-years. Others even argue that it might be infinite. Could there be more out there than meets the eye? Well, real scientific theories are exploring the possibility of universes existing alongside, beyond, or even mirroring our own. These intriguing concepts of multiverses and parallel worlds often intertwine with other, more familiar scientific ideas like the Big Bang, string theory, and quantum mechanics.
I heard. Well, I feel like we all heard Big Bang, and the Big Bang's pretty much like from. It could be from space itself, where it's just like a black hole and it just opens up. People like have different theories and different thoughts how the Big Bang happened. But for me, I feel like it's just from God, where it just created. He or she created the whole world in one instance. So it really goes into depth there because there's so many things. But the quantum theory, I don't really know too much about. I wonder if they're going to get more in depth to that because I really like to learn more about that.
In order for us to figure out what's out there, we have to rely on the information we're a bit more confident in, right? Let's rewind the cosmic clock about 13.7 billion years ago. Everything we're able to see today was squished into a minuscule singularity. Then, if the Big Bang theory is to be trusted, it all went boom. The universe inflated with a speed faster than that of light everywhere, within less than a second. The way the universe went pop has led some clever researchers to ponder the existence of more than one universe. They question whether that sudden growth ended everywhere at the same time. While the expansion ceased for everything we're able to see from Earth 13.8 billion years ago, cosmic inflation might still be ongoing in some other mysterious corners. Some theoretical physicists say that as inflation ends in one place, a new balloon universe forms. But here's the catch: you can't just hop from one bubble to another like intergalactic tourists. These bubble universes are expanding indefinitely, and their edges are zooming away from us faster than light can travel. And here's where things...
That's another thing too. Maybe we're in a bubble and we just can't see it. I don't know if anyone knows about this, but Walt Disney himself wanted to create a bubble around Disney World or Disneyland to shield it from the world. You know, just in case. I don't know if it was for nuclear. I don't remember if it was for like nuclear warfare or just shielding it from everything, so it doesn't. So it just stays in that place or whatever. In all honesty, now that I think about it, we could be living simultaneously in a bubble and everything like that too. So honestly, it's really interesting to think about all those types of things.
Things get even more confusing. Let's say we somehow manage to reach the edge of our local balloon and encounter the next universe. Well, those same theoretical physicists mentioned that the neighboring universe could be a whole different ballgame. It might have completely different laws of physics, making it a bizarre place for us. Following the same idea, some say that in this vast multiverse of bubble universes, there might be other life forms just like us. The problem is, we're getting farther away from them with each passing moment, and our paths will never cross. Other super smart researchers out there are trying to connect parallel universes with quantum mechanics. Now, quantum mechanics is basically the fancy math behind teeny tiny particles. According to it, these particles can exist in multiple states all at once. They call it a wave function that holds all the crazy options. But here's the catch. When we observe these particles, we only see one outcome. It's like the universe keeps playing hide and seek with us. Now, there's this theory called the many worlds theory that says whenever we observe one outcome, another universe pops up where a different outcome becomes real. It's like our universe acts as a giant tree, constantly branching into countless versions of itself. These alternate universes can't mingle, though, so you wouldn't even know if there are
And there are different particles and everything like that too, where you don't really see them. And it's just like dust. Like you see dust a little bit, but you don't really see it floating around in the air. You don't really see germs or anything like that in the human eye. So imagine not seeing like mass or even you can't even see oxygen. So those things can be invisible to us. And there are just so different forms of neutrons that go far beyond our control or way of life. and these things can occur to our well-being of humanity. So all these things can be massive to our way of life.
A bunch of other yous living slightly or totally different lives. This many worlds theory is pretty bold and a bit hard to prove or disprove. And that's not great for science because scientists love to test and experiment with their ideas. But if there's infinite space out there, why wouldn't there be infinite universes too? Try to imagine the universe as this giant cosmic playground. Some specialists believe that if it's indeed never-ending, then there's only a limited number of ways that its building blocks can arrange themselves. Eventually, they have to repeat certain patterns. If this is true, then it may be possible that somewhere out there might be another version of you living the exact same life, even down to what you had for brunch yesterday. Did we ever have any proof of these supposed parallel universes? Well, some say we did. Have you heard the tale of the mysterious man from Taured? It's the story of a man that ended up at a Japanese airport saying he was from a totally unknown country called Taured. Now, some folks think it's proof of time travel, while others believe it's evidence he came from a different universe altogether. As much as you'd like to believe the story to be factual, the tricky part is this Taured place. There's a reason you haven't heard of it. There's no Taured to be found, whether in the present day or back in the 1950s when this supposed incident happened. After the airport incident, the man just vanished into thin air a day after arriving in Japan. Poof, gone forever. Let's rewind to that fateful day in July 1954 when the man from Taured supposedly landed in Tokyo. Descriptions paint him as a bearded, French-speaking man. Nothing too outlandish so far, right? Depending on who's telling the story, things start to diverge a bit. In one version, when the man hands over his passport to get stamped, the Japanese officer's eyes bulge out. While the passport looked legit, the country listed as Taured isn't recognized by anyone, including the officer and other officials. Naturally, they take our Taured visitor away for a little Q&A session. In another version, the man straight up tells the officer he's from Taured and shows him the passport when he doesn't buy it. Our man from Taured then started trying to convince the officers that his homeland is the real deal. According to him, Taured sat snugly between France and Spain and would have been around for about 1,000 years. To prove his point, he even points to the area on a map that matches the Principality of Andorra. Obviously, things took a mysterious turn. The officers decided to hold the man in custody, suspecting he might be up to no good. They put him up in a nearby hotel for the night, but not without stationing 2 people outside his room.
And honestly, that's another thing. People and objects always disappear. You know, there's always stories about, I'm trying to think of it, the mirror triangle. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. But there's always some type of person or object, like I said, that vanishes from time to time, and no one really knows why or what happened. And like I said previously too, like I said before, there's always a different version of you just now doing the same thing or doing a different thing than you, and probably trying or even more successful or more poor too, which is a shame to really think about. There's so many things that we all can do to become better and become wise, but a lot of us don't have the finances to do so. You know, because when I think of poor, I don't think of just like middle class and stuff like that. I think about like everybody that gets affected. Even rich get affected too. You know, because we're all gonna die, and nothing really can save you. And a lot of times, even bunkers and stuff like that can't really always save you. It's not like the movies. But, you know, it depends. It depends on if the bomb's coming. It depends where it's landing. And it depends what it touches. So it's all these different things. And there's, of course, radiation too. But all these things align in different worlds, different Earths. Just like he was explaining before, It's just all compromised in such a deep manner.
Room to keep an eye on things. Can you guess what happens next? Drumroll, please. When the officers showed up the next morning, ready to continue their investigation, the man had vanished without a trace. No sign of escape, and to make matters even more puzzling, all his personal documents have magically vanished too. What if the man from Torrid was a time traveler, or an intergalactic adventurer? Some have even delved into the realms of science fiction to explain this bizarre event, and you won't believe the number of people on the internet who've latched onto it as evidence for alternate realities. One of the weirdest ideas suggests that the man accidentally stumbled into a parallel dimension and ended up at the Japanese airport. In that parallel universe, there's an Earth just like ours, but instead of Andorra, they call it Torrid over there. Another idea floating around was that the man was a time traveler from the future. Sorry to break it to you, but the most reasonable explanation for the whole story of the man from Torrid is that someone's imagination went wild. Since there are many versions of the same story, it's probable people just kept adding outrageous details to the case, to make it more sensational. The whole story simply snowballed into an urban legend, and there's little to no reason to believe we've once seen a time traveler or intergalactic hitchhiker right here on Earth.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like.
So yeah, I feel like a lot of things are just not as what they seem, and all reality just hits us like tons of bricks. And honestly, they say the man's a time traveler too, and I feel like in a lot of ways we all can be time travelers from a different dimension. Maybe one dimension where I find my own self, and maybe I find him with a woman just as me, and it's the same girl or a different partner or whatever. And it's like so many different shifts in different ways and different verbal ways and a lot of different things to think about. But anyway, I'm going to see you in the next video. Let me know if you want to see my mask on, if you like that. It's not really a reaction because you can't really see my face anyway, so that's why I'm doing this. And I'm not trying to steal anyone's content or anything. I'm just reacting to it, and I am giving my opinion on it as well. So make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new. If you want to watch the full rest of the video, it's going to be in the description too. Check out my other socials, it's also in the description. And yeah, I'll see you next time. And I think I said subscribe too, but I don't remember. Anyway,